I wonder if people are talking about that in the forums yet. Probably. My phone buzzed.
And yep, I'm getting an ad on the page. So Jen sent us a thing last week where she was like, it says the next stream is like a year ago. And I'm trying to figure out where she would have seen that image, because I replaced that image with a lot of other things that just say streaming Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. I cannot figure out where she would have seen that. So I'm going to have to ask her about that tomorrow. I can't ask her about it today because HipChat is down.
Oh, did you finally get disconnected?
I did finally get disconnected. Wah, wah. Evening, folks. How's everybody doing tonight? Are you getting your vengeance?
I think so.
I think so, too.
Yes, there are many people talking about Braithwaite's unlock.
Ha ha ha.
Good old Braithwaite.
Indeed. Yeah, it was funny because, like I said, when we were trying to track that down, Krista was like, it was somebody on a forum named Braithwaite. I'm like, oh, yes, that's Braithwaite. You will learn of him in your time here. He is one of the sort of grand poobahs of the Sentinels world, as it were. He's kind of a computer, a little bit. And I say
and
that
a good play-by-play man.
Yes, well, and I was gonna say, and I say that with reverence. I don't say that to be like belittling in any way. Like, he potentially understands the engine of Sentinels as well as John does, possibly better, but I won't actually make any sort of judgment call there. So, did everybody go out and take a couple hours off of Vengeance to go see Rogue One this weekend? I know I did.
I saw Rogue One. I'm sure we should just make this the spoilers episode.
I really like the part when they beep, and then the other part where the beep did the beep and the beep. We won't spoil anything, I promise. I would kill somebody if they spoiled it for me, so don't worry, I will not do that. But it's worth seeing. In my personal opinion, I actually thought it was better than last year's. I thought it was better than Force Awakens, personally. But
the spoilers came out in 1977, so...
Yes. Spoilers, they get the plans. Yeah, what? Actually, I saw a tweet that was hilarious. It was like, the worst part about Rogue One is having to wait till 1977 for the sequel. Which I thought was pretty good. But yeah, people have been really psyched about Vengeance. It obviously came out on Friday. If you're watching the show and you're not aware of that, I would be shocked. But if you're not aware of that, go check it out. It's available, obviously, in-app purchase on mobile. It's available as an expansion on Steam, and it is awesome. We are really, I mean, you know, we've said it before, and I think we said it in some of our other things. Like, this was the biggest single project we have done as a company since we launched the original version of Sentinels. It was more content, more new UI work, more reworking of how things worked. We had to make it work not only on Steam and tablet, but also phone. I mean, it was really the biggest thing we've done. And, you know, that was why we went to you guys on Kickstarter and said, please help us with this. And you did. And to us, fulfilling the first part of this promise by actually delivering you Vengeance, especially before the end of the year, felt really good. I'm not going to lie. I have quite a bit of pride in my team for really working as hard as they did to get this out when they did. And so we just hope you guys are liking it.
Vengeance is really sort of the main reason we wanted to do a Kickstarter, because we knew how much work it was going to be.
Yeah.
We needed to make sure we could do it.
Exactly right. And yeah, I mean, it's really, you know, obviously I've been playing it and you've been seeing us play it here on the stream for a couple months now, but it really is one of those things where we're just so excited for people to get it out in the world. You know, one of the things we've been getting a lot of comments about on Reddit, on different forums, on our Twitter is, you know, I've been waiting for this expansion more than any other, because this is the one that, despite owning it on the tabletop, it's rare that we actually get it out, because my friends and I just... You know, we think there's either too much bookkeeping, or, you know, people think there's going to be too much bookkeeping, and so they're not willing to give it a try. And so we're really excited that people are getting a chance to really play Vengeance and try it out. And we really can't wait for you to get Villains of the Multiverse, which we have already begun in earnest, because then it's going to make 15 villains that you can mix and match, which will make for an amazing array of more than 360,000 potential combinations.
Yes, and as Hankroyd mentions, all the work of the new user interface is done, so it's basically making content.
Exactly right. Yeah, so don't expect it before the end of the year because we have quite a bit to do. But let's see. So Sonvar says, hopefully releasing Vengeance has resulted in more purchase of Season 2. That is absolutely the case. In fact, that was our first order of business on Monday morning, was like, all right, we launched a thing on Friday. How are sales doing? And sales are great. I do think, it's one of the things I was mentioning in some of our in-house meetings was, we launched the Kickstarter, and a lot of you bought it then. Then we launched the Season Pass Preview Pack, which we wouldn't have done without the Kickstarter. And so a good number of people bought it right then and there. But even though you could only get 3 decks with that, you got 1 deck from Vengeance, 1 deck from Villains, and 1 deck from Mini Pack 4. But now that there's an actual real full, 12-deck expansion out there, I think that really tells people that the value proposition of Season 2 is a bigger one than just, I'm going to give you $20 or $25 now and only get 3 decks. Now you're really getting quite a bit for that season purchase, plus the fact that we obviously are already even working on the stuff that's coming next. So,
and the same thing happened with Season Pass 1. Exactly when Rook City came out, people were like, oh, they're really doing it.
Exactly right. Cytosine says, I bought a couple of your stocking stuffer items today. PDFs are a nice touch. Thank you. Yeah, that was, I don't even remember whose idea that was. I don't think it was mine. But it was a fun little thing because, especially in the day of downloadable games, it feels like it's hard to give that gift. I buy all my movies on iTunes now, and it's like, how does someone give me a fun gift like on Christmas morning or on Hanukkah night or any of those things? And so we came up with this idea. Thank you for the plug. Head over to Sentinels Digital, head over to Handelabra.com. /Handelabra store. We'll put that in the chat so you guys can see. It is only going for less than 24 hours left. It closes tomorrow afternoon at 5. So if you're looking to get those printable Steam keys, get a move on, man. Yes, Drista. I think it might have been Drista's idea to come up with those printed PDFs. But anyway, all right, so it's 7:03. I guess I can dive into my little spiel here. Oh, before we do that, I did want to make a brief program note, which is that this is, in fact, the last episode of Sentinels Live in 2016. Handelabra Games is closed next week so that everybody can spend some time with their family, with their friends, whatever holiday it is you might be celebrating, and the New Year, etc. We're closed next week. It's a holdover from when we used to close down whenever iTunes was closed. But, especially given that we just launched the biggest piece of content we've ever made since the core game, we thought it was time to give everybody in my opinion, well-deserved rest. And so we will be off next week, but we will be back January, I want to say 3rd, which is 3rd. Tuesday. Yeah. So mark your calendars, or I guess demark your calendars. There will be no Sentinels Live next week. So anyhow,
I'm sure someone will do a stream in our honor. That's usually what happens.
That does typically happen. All right, so it's Tuesday. It's 7-ish. So that must mean it's time to welcome you all to Sentinels Live. Thanks for joining us around the digital tabletop while we play Sentinels of the Multiverse. As the regulars know, the goal of these streams is not only to have fun, but also to go over and show you some strategies that could potentially help you win the game. At Handelabra, we do believe in being as inclusive as possible, so comments or activities that actively work against this goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. If you do enjoy the show, please like, share, follow, and subscribe, and tell all your friends how much you love Sentinels of the Multiverse. As we are the developers, you can typically be sure to get some insight into the process and maybe even see some stuff before anyone else. There is no stuff to show anyone before anyone else now because we just launched it all last week. So tonight we're just going to have fun and maybe dig in a little deeper on some strategies. The game does include a tutorial that covers the basics, but we always do our best to explain exactly what we're doing, when we do it, and why. And depending on how long it takes for us to win or lose, we often do play more than one full game in an episode. And we shoot for episodes to be anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, depending on how we're doing and how tired John gets, because he's off in Europe and it's like the middle of the night for him. Sentinels of the Multiverse is currently available for iOS, Android, as well as PC, Mac, and Linux via Steam, and always via good old analog cardboard and ink. And you can get more information about the game at sentinelsdigital.com.
Good spiel.
Indeed. All right, so
speaking of things that we can't preview, there are no more heroes for us to preview because
more.
Greater Than Games has not released any heroes that we don't have in the video game.
Yeah, that's a milestone we haven't really discussed publicly yet. Like, because Villains shipped with no heroes, it shipped with more Vengeance style or team villains and more environments. But the next heroes don't come out until what will be for us Mini Pack 4, what will be for Greater Than Games, shipping the Oblivion Kickstarter. So yeah, enjoy the heroes team players, because that's what there is for now.
But there will be like 10, 11 new ones when that happens.
Yes, quite a few. Yeah, so what is it? 4, 2, and 5, right? Yeah, 11. Good.
Yeah. And variants.
And variants, of course. Oh, so many variants. We're actually just having a conversation today about how to schedule variant releases, because as you guys know, we're interested in this idea of releasing variants sort of off-cycle, but how we do that is still an open question, because they obviously need artwork from Adam, they need, programming from us, but they also need like actual card artwork, which for a lot of the variants at this point is not out yet. So we're still working with Greater Than Games to figure out exactly what the schedule on that is going to be. Stay tuned in 2017 to find that out.
Speaking of variants, there's been lots of discussion about the new variants in Vengeance. We've already had K.N.Y.F.E and 100 Naturalist unlocked and discovered, so good job there. And the Sentinels were just unlocked for the first time like half an hour ago.
Yeah, like half an hour ago.
By Braithwaite, I believe. So well done. And there's been some questions, even though we posted about it many times, talked about it many times, that you can mix and match the Sentinels. And so we're going to do that tonight. And so I'm going to ask the chat in order which Sentinel I should choose. And so first I will ask, which Dr. Medico do you want me to play? And now, Jeremy, go ahead and do things.
I got that up. So that's the choices are regular or adamant. So the first one to get, we'll go with 3 votes. Will be the one we showed. Remember, we showed off the Adamant Sentinels as a full team last week, and obviously you've seen the regular Sentinels in previous weeks. So, his power here is regeneration. Each of the Sentinels regains 1 HP. You may draw a card now.
All right, they vote for Adamant.
All right, so Adamant. All right, next one we've got Mainstay. His Adamant power is Haymaker. Mainstay deals 1 target 2 melee damage. The next damage dealt to that target is irreducible.
Oops, I guess I want to keep that.
So we got 1 regular, main. Does that count as regular?
I think main means regular.
Yeah. All right, so we'll do regular Mainstay. All right, and then Idealist, TK Thump. The Idealist deals 1 target, 1 psychic damage until the start of your next turn. Reduce damage dealt by a target. Dealt damage this way by 1. And her base power is what? Just deal 2 psychic damage?
Yeah. Okay, then Adamant or regular Writhe.
And his power is Shroud. The next time a non-hero target is destroyed, you may move it to the bottom of its deck. Looks like 2 votes for regular Writhe.
3, it's a regular sweep.
All right. So we got Adamant Idealist and Adamant Medico, regular Writhe, and regular Mainstay. I'm going to play Naturalist, Hunted Naturalist, and then I think I'm actually going to play Prime Warden's Fanatic.
Cool. Well, I'm going to play Guise.
Of course you are. Do we want to do a team villain or do we want to do regular villain? I mean, I feel like we've been playing a lot of team villains because we've been showing it off, but it is Vengeance Week, so...
Sure, just hit random.
Hit random on regular or random on team?
On team, sure.
All right.
And it looks like we need 1 more. I'm not sure why I didn't fill them out, but...
Ooh, and Dok'Thorath Capital. Very
Look, and it
interesting.
even left out Ermine.
I left out Ermine. It gave us 3, and I was like, all right, who should we add? You know what? No, fine. We'll choose Ermine. That's fine. All right, so we're going to play a team game against Baron Blade, Proletariat, Fright Train, and Ermine with a team of Hunted Naturalist, Mix and Match Sentinels, Prime Warden's Fanatic, and
'n' 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 '
Ah, man, the opening bars of this music just take me right into it. Ah, man, Jean-Marc is so good. At long last, the world shall truly tremble in the clutches of Baron Blade. It's the fool who snares into the eyes of darkness and does not turn his head. I don't know if that was a good snarl or not. I was kind of working from...
It's kind of a pig grunt.
So you got environmental allies, the Predator's Eye, the Predator's Eye, and just for a little variety, the Predator's Eye. Then,
oh my God, who wrote the randomizer? That's impossible.
That's impossible. All right, and the Mix and Match Sentinels, there you have it. You see Adamant Medico, regular mainstay, Adamant Idealist, and regular Writhe. We've got Durasteel Chains, Fling into Darkness, and 2 unique capabilities, so not a very unique capability. And then Prime Wardens Fanatic, Absolution, Consecrated Ground, Divine Focus, and Divine Sacrifice. And blatant reference, let me see that, selling out, and yeah, I'm that guy. And let's see what the villains have for us. Genetically fused pantsuit. Omni Blade. We get 2 Proletariats, right? Yep. And then Engine of Destruction.
So this week we also have the first Vengeance style weekly one-shot.
Mm-hmm.
Have you played it? Have you tried it out, Jeremy?
I have not. I will, though.
I hope you like clones, because you will get a few of those.
Yeah, someone was saying, oh, this is the last one. Not the last one ever. Just the last one this year. We're taking next week off because it's between the two sort of... actually, this year, Hanukkah is actually on Christmas, which makes sense because last year Hanukkah was on Thanksgiving. It's funny how that works because the Hebrew calendar, instead of a leap day like we have, they actually have a leap month on like some weird schedule because it's a lunar calendar. So last year, Hanukkah was as early as it can possibly be and was on Thanksgiving, which happens once every, I think, 10,000 years, if I'm not mistaken. And so this year it's like way late. It's as late as it can possibly be, and it literally coincides with Christmas.
Did it like march back or something?
Yeah,
like
and then it'll slowly go back over the course of the next, I think it's like 13 years. It really is completely whacked. It's like every 13th, 26th, and like 40-something year, there's an extra month, and then on certain, like every 27th year, it has an extra day. It's like some really crazy thing. So
human time measurements are pretty wacky, anyways.
Yeah. All right. I think I don't have anything, any forms, but I think I am gonna Predator's Eye on Fright Train just so that we can like really go after him. Unless you have something else in mind.
Sure, environmental allies is really good in this environment too.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of want to wait and see what we're gonna get because I know that there's a lot that can happen in this where that there's like 3 or 4 different kinds of cards that deal damage to like everything.
Yeah, it's very likely that something like that will come out.
And
like there are 9 cards in the environment deck that deal damage to all targets, and so that would be nice to have environmental allies protecting us.
All right, I will plan for that for next turn. I would say anyone other than Fanatic, because she's going to be hitting herself quite a bit.
I mean, all 3 of these are going to get hit.
Oh, true.
So it doesn't matter. All right, I guess I'll find some unique capabilities.
I hope you people did not think that I was trying to say that when I say it was totally whack, that I was in some way trying to be anti-Semitic. I was raised Jewish for my whole life, so that's the only reason why I feel like I have the ability to say that I think the calendar is totally whacked. Personally, I think that it is totally whacked because it jumps all over the place, but that's only obviously in comparison to the sort of standard Western calendar that we're used to. Or that I'm used to, I guess I should say.
I'm going to do a little horrifying nemesis healing to the Idealist.
Oh yeah, Colossu points out that since I had already turned on my form, I could have played a second Predator's Eye and done a little bit more damage. Whoops.
Yeah, what did you end up playing for your second card?
I drew.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I wanted some more options.
I was not paying attention.
That's so unlike you. TK Thump. Hang on, penning my letter to the ADL. I will pay attention to what you're saying when done. Yes, yes. Healing up, healing up. All right, Fright Train. Improbable Grapple. He is smashing Setback's face into the wall right there. That is not fun for him.
I think we can discard for this.
Sure. Yeah, so Colossu says, Hunted Naturalist is probably my favorite variant now because every card just gives you so much value if you have more than one form active. Yes, the sort of like fun metagame with Hunted Naturalist is to try and make sure that you have all three forms active before you play a one-shot, and then you get so much good stuff. Real fan of Fanatic asks, I'm getting an iPad Mini 2 this Christmas. Will this run on it? As far as I know.
Yep.
Yeah, I think my wife, I think that's the one my wife has. Wait, actually, I should ask, is the iPad Mini 2, is that one Retina or is that non-Retina?
Yes.
In that case, it will definitely run because we have a non-Retina one and it runs on that. So
it runs on any iPad that's not the iPad 1.
There you go.
And if you have an iPad 1, you're probably a hipster.
Do I want to get rid of the pantsuit, or do I want to get Absolution out? I think at this stage.
Why not both? You never know. You might have an Absolution on top of your deck.
That's true. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. And we'll hit Fright Train because he's getting boosts. And then, now that I got rid of his thingy, I could probably hit Blade. Does anybody else have a boost? No.
I'd hit Ermine and Blade probably.
Yeah, Ermine and Blade is what I think I'm going to do. All right, so let's hit myself. And, ooh, Holy Nova. Holy Nova! And, yeah, I went ahead and hit choose for me because none of the Proletariats were close enough that it would have mattered to, try and finagle it, as it were. All right, and who wants a power? I have 2 Gazelle thingies that I wouldn't mind getting Gazelle, but I don't know that's going to expire at the end of my turn, so
Yeah, you could use Gazelle and play Environmental Allies.
Right, but won't that, like, I can use it now, and then it'll go out, and then I'll just have to use it again instead of something else on my next turn, because it'll expire.
What do you mean have to?
Oh, I see what you're saying, because it hasn't been this environment turn yet. Unless you have a Sentinels one that you want to use.
Nope, I would prefer Environmental Allies to any other thing I can do.
Fair enough. Dark Citadel asks, is there an easier way to update SOTM than through the Amazon App Store? I end up having to tell it to do it like 5+ times before it'll actually finish. Not that I'm aware of, unfortunately. The way that you update the game is through the store that you bought it from. So, obviously on iOS and on Steam, you can set it to do that for you automatically. I don't know how that really works on Google and Amazon.
Yeah. If you have trouble with your App Store, you can get support through them. We can't do anything to help about app stores.
Unfortunately. And there's Subtle Diversion, bane of my existence. I can't tell you how many testing games I had where I was down to my last hero target. Usually it was a Sentinel, and Subtle Diversion was in play, and Ermine was the last villain. And it's like, what am I supposed to do? I can't hit her because then I'll just hit myself.
It's only the first time on a turn.
It is.
Take a hit and hit her again.
Yes.
Sentinels are really good at doing multiple damage.
Yeah, and that is not, there were definitely at least a couple games where I came back from that, especially if I managed to get like one of the Sentinels revived or something like that, and then healed up a bit. But it was definitely a frustrating thing for sure. Snot Zombie 77 says, "Thank you for the early Christmas present in the form of vengeance. You're welcome."
Guise is going to take the Hippocratic Oath and high-five the Sentinels all at once.
All 4 of them. A high 4. Good.
And I'm going to choose Fright Train, so I get a bigger heal bonus. And I'm going to be greedy and heal myself. Ooh, best card ever. Dr. Guise, at your service.
Jorning says, "I honestly love your Canadian accent. There's suddenly something oddly soothing about it."
Thank you. Or I'm sorry. Oh yes, we're gonna want environmental allies for this orbital bombardment.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that just came out. I was like, "Yep, I think I know what we're gonna do."
Actually, one thing I really enjoy is, whenever I see like a video or a show on Netflix or whatever, and I can tell it's Canadian because it's just like normal to me. And I don't detect any sort of accent or whatever. And it's like, oh yeah. And then if I think about it, it's like, yeah, they're Canadian.
Well, that happens a lot on like the Sci-Fi Channel because like the vast majority of their shows are actually produced in Canada.
In Vancouver.
In Vancouver, especially. Exactly. Yep.
Even ones that are not like more mainstream than that are often shot in Vancouver.
Yeah, like I think a lot of Battlestar Galactica was shot there.
Yeah.
This isn't it's a science fiction, but I don't think it's a sci-fi show. Orphan Black, I believe, is shot there.
Yeah, New Caprica is Simon Fraser University.
Is that the thing that has like the raised hallway and like the big open?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's used in a bunch of shows.
It's in like every show.
Because their campus is sort of a little future. It's like
it's futuristic.
It's like 80s futuristic. So.
So Sanvar points out environmental allies does not help with orbital bombardment.
Oh, that's right.
Because it's not a target.
All right. Well, we'll just destroy it. Can we? I can retcon it.
Okay.
But you have a Gazelle right now, so you could destroy ongoing cards. You could get rid of Subtle Diversion.
That's true.
And then you could use your power to do Threatening Stomp with or Predator's Eye, or you're the Hunted Naturalist. Go crazy.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So I'm doing up to 3 targets, 2 melee damage. So of course, Fright Train first because he's got the Engine of Destruction on him. And let's see. Any of these?
The crew? Yeah, we have to destroy the Crackjaw crew. That is.
Okay. Yeah. I was just gonna say.
Bad times.
Yeah, because that goes against the Sentinels. And then let's see here, Blade or Ermine. Yeah, well, Ermine you can't use right now.
Going to be dealing 5 damage to 2 targets. So yeah.
So I'm going to hit Blade with this, unless there's another one of the sub targets that we think makes sense.
Sure. The Seer is actually good for us here because Fanatic can't hit
Fanatic,
itself.
yep. All right, so we'll get rid of Subtle Diversion. Do we want to get rid of Engine of Destruction if we're still...
I'm fine leaving Engine of Destruction around.
Yep, Constant Prattle it is.
Snot Zombie asks, how do I feel about the Trailer Park Boys? I'm not a huge fan. They're funny, but I haven't really gotten into it. I'm not as big into the sort of trash culture, I guess. But it's funny because I lived in Halifax, and that's where the show is set. And in the opening scene of Trailer Park Boys, they rob a bank and get caught by the cops, and that's like in downtown Halifax. You can just go walk around that location. It's funny.
What's our damage total right now, do you think? Like, should I Predator's Eye Crackjaw crew so we can get rid of them ASAP? Or
when do they go? We have the Sentinels first, and I have Nemesis against them. And yeah, Fright Train is fine. Like, if we can kill Fright Train, that kills them. But we probably won't kill them. I would say go ahead with Fright Train.
Okay. And then I'm going to, I'm going to draw one card because all I have is Threatening Stomp. Ooh, there we go. Shifter Strength. I can deal with that. And then, so I'll deal either 3 to Fright Train or 2 to the Crackjaw crew. What do you think?
Well, let's see. I can do Fling into Darkness, actually. We'll do 3 damage, 4 damage. And they're at 9. And Fling into Darkness, yeah. So hit them for 1 here. And then I'll fling them into darkness, and then they'll be gone.
So I once took a road trip to Toronto. Back when I was waiting on tables, back in the day, I used to finish my shift, and then we would go to Denny's, and we'd hang out at Denny's until like 2 in the morning. And a buddy of mine and I both finished our shifts. We went to Denny's. We were sitting around like, let's do something tonight. Neither of us have to work for the next 48 hours. What should we do? And we said, all right, let's look at a map. So we pulled out a map, and we drew a line from Cleveland to Cincinnati, which is about 5 hours. And we were like, all right, draw a big circle that distance. What can we get to in that amount of time that isn't Cincinnati?
As if you could just drive straight across the lake to Toronto.
Exactly. And Toronto was just outside that circle, and it ended up being about 5 hours. And so we were like, all right, we'll drive to Toronto. Why not? We haven't been to Canada in a while. This was a good bit before 9/11, so crossing the border was not like, you know, a federal thing.
Yeah, you just needed a driver's license.
Exactly right. And so we're like, all right, cool. So we'll go. We start driving. I should mention this was in wintertime. This is important to the story. So we get to basically the border between Ohio and Pennsylvania, which is like 20 feet from the border between Pennsylvania and New York. Like, you basically clip the corner of Pennsylvania, and then all of a sudden you're in New York.
Yeah, does it have one of those like corner things you can stand at? And
it doesn't exactly, because it actually is like several miles, but whatever it is, it's close. And right as that we're there, as we got there, it was like probably 3 or 4 in the morning at this point, and a couple of flakes started falling. And we're like, okay, you know, it's just a little bit of snow, no big deal. Then we kept driving for about an hour, which put us at Buffalo. Now, if anybody knows anything about snow and Buffalo, you know that they don't even bother with snowplows there. They just get earth movers. They have something called lake effect snow there. And we ended up in basically one of the worst blizzards in the late 90s. I don't remember what it was, but we basically drove through this ridiculous blizzard. We had to get off 90 and drive back streets because we were like, we're not turning back. We are getting to Canada. We thought it was going to take us 4 hours. It ended up taking us about 9. We got to Canada just in time for lunch. We went to the Planet Hollywood and called our girlfriends. We were like, hey, we're in Toronto. And they're like, you're idiots. Come home. And so we hung up the phone, finished our lunch, and we drove back home. And that's my Canada road trip story.
You went to Toronto for lunch.
We went to Toronto for lunch. That's exactly right.
You can tell when someone isn't Canadian because they will say Toronto like you did.
Not Toronto?
Yeah, like the amount that you pronounce Toronto depends on how far away from Toronto you live in Canada. So if you live in Toronto, you will probably say T-dot or Toronto. But if you're the further, but most of Canada will be like Toronto. You know, like it's all sort of one thing. You don't say Montreal or Toronto.
Toronto. Yeah, and then when I was in overnight camp, I went to overnight camp in upstate Wisconsin, and we took a canoe trip in something called Quetico, which is the Quebec timber company, and it's this big, huge, like, I don't want to say nature preserve because it's actually owned by this company, and they do logging there, but they're actually like responsible loggers, so they don't clear cut everything and then leave it. But so as a result, it's this big wilderness area that people can go on canoe trips in, and it was always awesome. We took a 13-day canoe trip through Quetico, and it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. I was like somewhere. I believe it was the summer between 8th and 9th grade, so it was super awesome.
Guise had been enjoying his Caligulus form.
All right, so let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get Absolution out here. And then I believe you said I can't hit myself. Is the Seer still out? Yes.
Yeah, I'm finally the Seer like all the time. There's a whole bunch of vengeance effects that make us hit ourselves and stuff. So
yeah. All right, so I draw my Aegis of Resurrection, so that's even better. Does anybody else have a compelling argument for wanting to use a power, or should I just use Absolution on Fright Train?
Unless you have something you want to do with the Naturalist, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's fine. Just do that.
Yes, the most pronunciation of Toronto is by British people, as Silverleaf points out.
Toronto.
And we have a heritage minute about that, sort of. It's about choosing I think it's the one about choosing the capital of Canada. Or it might be the responsible government one. We have a series of commercials that the government produced about the history of Canada, which are anyone in sort of my generation grew up with them on TV. So it's sort of a touchstone. Who's second lowest? Mainstay can be second lowest.
Alrighty. How do Canadians pronounce Quebec?
Anyone who knows how to say it says Quebec. My parents and others have been known to say Quebec, much to my chagrin.
Yeah, I was always taught, after I pronounced it Quebec once, someone was like, it's more like Quebec. And so I've tried to adhere to that.
Quebec is one thing, Quebec is another. Though that's nothing compared to the abominations of pronunciation that exist in the United States.
I'm sure.
Of various names. I'm trying to think of I'm sure the chat will come up with some examples. There's some hilarious ones, though.
Wait, ads for Canada? Did it involve TV and pop music icon Robin Sparkles?
Oh, yeah. Now I remember my favorite one is somewhere, it's in Missouri or something, and it's Versailles. And if you pronounce it properly, as Versailles, they'll freak out.
They look at you crazy, yeah. All right, guys, what do we got going on?
All right, I have to decide. I guess I don't really have to decide. I can play a bunch of my cards at once. So, yes, Oral Bombardment, we can get rid of that. Though it would do a lot of damage for us, it would also hit us pretty hard. Then I'll just play that best card ever. And give old Fright Train a smack. Sure, I'll play another card. I could destroy another ongoing card, perhaps. Yeah, that flanking maneuvers is probably going to be annoying. Well, we must have had a conversation about this with Silverleaf in Birmingham. Or Birmingham, as I'm sure there's a Birmingham in Alabama, I think, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they probably say Birmingham and not Birmingham. Well, who knows? I don't know. But yeah, English names are their own thing. You sometimes don't want to pronounce them like they sound, like they look like Edinburgh. All right, what am I doing? I guess I'll play another card.
Yeah, that's right. You lived in Edinburgh when we when we first started the company.
It would be fun to steal. I'm going to definitely steal Aegis of Resurrection just before Guise goes down, just for fun.
Lou Dolphin says, I'm pretty sure there's only one way to pronounce Cleveland. There is, of course, the less well-known pronunciation, which is Mistake by the Lake.
No Cleveland?
No Cleveland.
I guess I got what I was looking for. Oh, there is a Versailles in Ohio. There you go.
That does not surprise me. No, I don't want to install updates right now, OS X. Thank you.
So Cytosine says they say Birmingham in Alabama. That is the weird pronunciation.
Yeah, and then he says there's no weird pronunciation.
Order probably won't matter too much, unless we want a certain proletariat to be lower than the others, but I don't think it's going to make a difference.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Fast forward.
Well, the good news is, I think Fright Train's not long for this world.
Lou Dolphin shouts, "We're not Detroit."
Yeah, that one always reminds me of Homestar Runner. The Strong Bad emails where there was the guy who was like, from Chicago, Illinois. And I will say, I said that quite a bit because we lived in Milwaukee for a number of years before moving back to Cleveland. And so I would always, whenever we drove through there, I was like, and here we are in Illinois, Algonquin for the good land. All right, so what do I have? I have Crocodile form active until the end of this turn. I could just get Fright Train out right now. What is Shifter Strength? Discard any number of cards, draw as many cards as you discarded, and then play a card. Nice. Okay, yeah, so Environmental Allies is in play, and I definitely want to be the Gazelle for that.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, so I think I'll just...
safe from... We'd let the Thorathians run rampant.
Yeah, I'm just going to play Natural Form's Power and stay in Gazelle for now, and then potentially next turn I can... actually, let's just draw a card. Indomitable Force and Natural Born Vigor. Interesting. Yeah, because if we're going to keep it out, which means it's going to be harder to kill environment targets, we definitely want the Gazelle power that keeps us immune from them.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Worcestershire. Uh-oh.
I'm back.
You're back. Okay.
Yeah, the shires are difficult in the UK. And mostly it's just like you just say the first bit.
Yeah, honestly, the only reason why I even know that you pronounce it Worcester is because when I went to school briefly for a year and a half in upstate New York, I actually went home with a buddy of mine who was in my dorm, like for the holidays. I went home with him to Worcester, Massachusetts, and he explained to me how you pronounce it. We're not going to hit ourselves, silly.
We're immune thanks to the seer. Oh, I got a thing that says I left the game. That's mysterious.
It just said you left the game, but you're still in it?
Yeah, in the chat. It's funny. Okay. I'm just going to move along and play my card.
Leo9981, if you're talking about the Worcester in Ohio where they pronounce it wrong, it's not pronounced wrong, it's actually spelled wrong. It's actually spelled like Wooster. So it's actually Worcester.
Awesome. Oh yeah, it's psychic, so I won't get redirected, so choose one either way. So we have Fright Train down, 3 to go. What's Fright Train going to do to us? Deal himself toxic damage. Well, that won't be happening. I think I'm going to get an extra card because I have like some more options. I will have 2 of the same option.
All right, let's see. Ooh.
Smite the transgressor.
Yes, I'm definitely smiting some transgressors. Let's do... Okay, so there's only one Proletariat in play.
Yeah, the Thorathians are going to take care of them. So
okay. I was going to say, if I want to hit Proletariat... All right, that's fine. Baron Blade is lower, but Ermine is more annoying.
Ermine has the seer.
Yeah, let's hit Baron Blade. So
Ermine's not even doing anything.
For now. All right, so who wants this power usage? Because I'm going to use Absolution on my own. So, ooh, I got a Consecrated Ground.
But we don't want to destroy that.
We don't want to destroy that.
It's fine, destroy it. Or destroy Natural Form's power if you want, I guess. If you'd rather, like, 2 damage to all the bad guys is pretty good, so.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll get rid of that and keep out the Thorathian. And then we can hit Blade for 1. Ermine for 1.
Yeah, I would hit like Empyrean or Omniblade. Actually, if you hit Empyrean, he'll kill himself at the start of his turn. Or when he does his thing.
Great. All right, you want a Sentinel to use a power or something else? Pricey Provinces says he was just playing the Sentinels while listening to the stream and managed to unlock the Sentinels.
Sentinels green.
Someone's either been watching the stream or...
You could let Guise use a power.
Okay.
Because Guise can play something to hit things more. Have a better chance of knocking out Baron Blade before he goes.
I almost never choose anything other than Radiant when I'm playing this, so I'll choose Fire.
Unless you're hitting absolute 0.
True. But if I'm doing it just to hit the bad guys, I typically pick Radiant because I feel like that's thematic.
See, that's not a big deal. You don't even need your Aegis of Resurrection.
Yeah, I was just checking that. I was like, I'm actually not that far. I'm fine with losing the Aegis, especially because she doesn't have Constant Prattle out, which means if I use my power next turn, I'll just play it. Let's see here. So I'll just get rid of that Indomitable Force.
I don't think I'm going to use the Durasteel chains.
Silverleaf says, spent 3 days in London in October trying to pretend not to be a tourist. Impossible when you're with two loud, excited Americans. I can believe that. Having been a tourist in London as a loud, excited American, I concur.
It is your turn to discard. Jeremy is the worst loud, excited American. Everyone's saying. Definitely.
I don't know that I'm the worst. I can definitely be pretty bad. Like, specifically, to specifically address what Silverleaf just said, if I was in London, especially if I was with my kids, I would absolutely be taking a photo at platform 9 3/4. There's no question. I'm in the process of reading through the Harry Potter series with my kids. We read one book a year as they get older. My daughter, who's 10, we're on book 5, and my son, who is 8, we're on book 3. In fact, we're one chapter from the end of Prisoner of Azkaban. We're going to finish it, and then he's going to get to watch the movie over Christmas break, which is very exciting.
So I'm not a Harry Potter fan, and we went there, and it seems kind of underwhelming. I don't know if you've been to it.
I've seen the pictures of it, where it's basically just like a little thing and like a cart that's like halfway in the wall or whatever.
It's just like, a photo up, and there's a shop, which is crowded. I took a picture of the real platform, whatever number it is, and it's just a regular train. That was more interesting to me. But yes, the Harry Potter, there's a lot of excited people there, so
yeah,
that's fun. But if you do go, be prepared to line up for probably like an hour.
Sure.
For a 15-pound photo.
Right, and the other thing is that we're trying to figure out exactly when we should go to like Harry Potter World at like Universal Studios or whatever it is, because, by the time the 10-year-old has finished all the books, the 5-year-old will only be on like book 2, and it's like I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but it'll still be fun. So yeah, we're trying to figure exactly out how.
Just feed them lots of chocolate.
Exactly,
ones.
Chocolate frogs and Bernie Bott's every flavored beans and.
Brittany went to the Universal Studios Harry Potter and really enjoyed it. So I don't know what I want to do. Do I want my best card ever? I want to play. I can do that too. I do like I can do that too. That's what I'm going to do. I did get what I was looking for.
Good.
And I'm going to play a card. To do it, I'm going to use Fanatic's power to deal myself damage, except I don't. And then I stole your sword. Sweet. And now I get to pick someone to use a power. How about Fanatic? Do you want to use your power?
Sure. We can just bounce powers all over this board. There's my Aegis of Resurrection. And who should use this power?
Guise to use Absolution that he borrowed.
Great.
And he's going to use melee damage like a chump. That was pretty good.
Blade, come on. Why are you bringing this weak sauce?
Hey, the environment's going to do our job for us.
Oh, man, look at this. Yeah, definitely hit
Take
that
out those
Proletariat
Proletariats.
first.
And there's another Proletariat. And I think that's it. So
Sidescene says, I listened to the Harry Potter audiobooks when I was sick earlier this year. Spent 2 weeks having fever dreams and occasionally rewinding the Audible player. I never read the books. Yeah, so the thing about Harry Potter for me, I don't know that I love it in the same way that I love things like Star Wars, but I feel like they are just the world building is so solid, in my opinion. So, like, what it comes down to is every time I finish reading a book with one of the kids, we watch the movie that we just read, and then I watch the rest of the movies because I'm like, oh, I'm back in this world again. So I've probably rewatched the end of the series more than I've rewatched the beginning of the series, which is odd because a lot of movies like that have long-running things, you tend to watch the earlier ones more often because they've been out longer. But I kind of do the opposite with the Harry Potter world.
Baron Blade with his last gasp.
Oh,
his regression darting us. Stupid Baron. He's gonna kill himself now too. It's like his last.
I regression dart you, and then I take one for the team.
Yeah. Then his muscles flex too hard. And he punches himself in the face.
All right, so let's see. So
have you seen the new the White Rabbit show Netflix has with the Mythbusters build team?
No.
So the build team, they like took them off of Mythbusters for the final season, but they have made their own show, which is kind of interesting. So one of the things they did, I've only seen one episode of it, but they used some sort of homebrew mind control stuff to have one person like flex their arm and make the other person's arm do the same motion.
Interesting.
Like spill stuff over themselves and stuff. So it's kind of fun.
I forgot that I can't deal damage.
You forgot.
What did I just do? Jeremy, every stream. All right, in that case, then I'm just going to go ahead and do this because I'm not interested in either of these, really. All right, I got to blend into the pack and an Indomitable Force. I guess I could just blend into the pack. And we'll keep the Gazelle. I have not drawn a single other form this game. Still haven't. Yep. Feral Fury. Nope.
That happens. There's only 3 of them in the whole deck, right? So.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's like his main power. It sort of like overemphasizes how many there are because you basically go digging for them.
Mm-hmm. Irreducible A. Coligonous form is happy about that. You can punch Ermine.
Yeah, the Netflix show that I'm actually interested in after seeing the trailer is this The OA. I don't know if it's any good. I actually heard mixed reviews.
Netflix has so much original content now. I don't know if you've seen like the new sort of splash page they have. You go to Netflix and it's like all you see is Netflix original content.
Interesting.
Like that's all that's on the front page is just that. They have like enough stuff that they can, have plenty of options.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that's clearly the direction they're going is they don't want to be beholden to the other content producers because that's been burning them. So, well, I think Dark Delusions time. Sorry, the Seer. That's the seeing time is over. The finishing time is now.
Indeed. Silverleaf says, I probably was too old for Potter, but I found it all fairly predictable. That makes me feel weird because I was probably older than you were when I started reading them because I did not read them from when they first came out. I was in my 30s, I think, when I started reading the Harry Potter books.
Yeah, I haven't read the books, but I watched the movies and was like, yeah, this is, okay fantasy.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, I watched the first 3 movies. The first book I read was book 4. And then I went back and reread the books and then watched all the movies and read the books and watched the movies as they came out. So,
yeah, I never got interested enough to do more than like if someone I know wants to watch the movies, I will watch them.
Right. Yeah,
but I'm not going to seek it out.
J.K. Rowling is actually pretty amazing. Like, she's one of the only humans, I think, that has ever, like, become a billionaire and then become not a billionaire because she gave so much to charity that she's just not a billionaire anymore. Because she was
she's a good person.
She's like an amazingly good person, yeah.
Riot is happy to reduce this damage. This is what I'm talking about. Caligula's form is like, to me, it's the best signature move.
Yeah, ever since you said that on the stream, I've been trying to use it more, and I definitely see what you're talking about.
Because he can once the other heroes get beat down, he becomes the highest HP, and with -2 most of the time, it's pretty strong.
Yeah.
And like the redirection is almost like a little bonus that sometimes happens.
All right, so let's see. We'll definitely do that, even though I'm low, but that's fine. I got my Aegis out. Guys, are you trying to do something? Or do you want the Sentinels to do something, or what do you think?
Do you have anything interesting to play from the Naturalist? You could go Croc, Feral Fury.
That's true. I could do that. Let's do that.
That's 4 damage instead of 3. I guess guys could use Absolution.
Yeah. Oh, I have regression darts.
Oh no, I forgot to. Also, guys can't deal damage, right?
Oh. All right, back it up.
All right, the Sentinels can use a power then.
All right.
We don't know what we're doing, clearly.
They should get someone who actually understands this game to play it on the stream.
What? I haven't even used block this game. Just gonna keep reducing Ermine's damage. Did you go see the new not Harry Potter movie?
Not yet. It's on my list because my daughter really wants to see it, my 10-year-old. And so it may be one of the ones we get to over the break. She's actually the only one that I'm going to take to see Rogue One, I think. It's a little bit more violent than any previous Star Wars movie, with the potential exception of Episode 3. I think some of the stuff that happens in Episode 3 is not really for kids.
I think it's the darkest Star Wars movie by far.
The newest
I
one?
wouldn't take kids to it.
Yeah, well,
it's a war movie.
It is, and that's why I said I think the 10-year-old is probably okay to see it. I'm not taking the 8-year-old or the 5-year-old to see it for sure. And my wife and I are still having an open conversation about whether the 10-year-old is going to go see it. There's a website we trust called commonsensemedia.org, which is really, really good about rating movies based on age and content. It's not just R or PG-13 or whatever. It actually digs in, what kind of violence does it have? What kind of sexual imagery does it have? What kind of drug and alcohol references? What kind of adult themes, etc.? And it rates a movie on all of those things and then tells you what it thinks, and then it gives you lots of resources for figuring it out based on your kids. And they say 10 plus. I think, knowing my 10-year-old, I think she could handle it. Knowing my 8-year-old, I don't think it's right for him. So, but yes, you're right. It is a war movie for sure. Oh, guys.
Speaking of war movies. Oh, yeah. Damn it. I forgot to play a card.
We're spending too much time just talking.
It's true.
Instead of playing. Yeah, Sidestein says, I really appreciate when they break down the ratings like that. Yeah, me too. It's interesting, too, because my wife and I have very different opinions about this stuff. I love the Dark Crystal. I have amazing memories of that being sort of my first fantasy experience when I was really, really young, so young that I don't remember how old I was. But for her, she watched that and had nightmares for 6 months. And so we have not shown the kids the Dark Crystal or, for instance, the Neverending Story. Those are things that for me, it's I liked that feeling of being kind of scared, but also really intrigued by this fantasy world. But she's not like that. So we have lots of discussions about what kinds of media is appropriate for our children.
Meanwhile, the environment is destroying the villains.
Yep. It's almost like we're living in our own war story right now.
Yes.
Where the freedom fighters and the military are going after each other. But not us, because we're allies. Nonetheless says you could also see the review board ratings and notes on IMDb. Oh, that's cool. I did not know that.
The top of Shrek's butt is seen.
What? Yeah,
my ogre butt.
My general policy with a lot of that stuff is I go see it first, and then I decide based on how I know my kids whether or not I think it's appropriate for them or not.
All right, you gonna finish it off here, Jeremy?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I am no longer not able to deal damage, or yes, that is correct. So I can Feral Fury. Wait. Oh, I didn't have that in play.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because I can just do this. It doesn't matter, and then play a card, threatening stomp, and goodbye, Ermine. Hey, Silverleaf, that does not make you a terrible parent. I also agree. I think that some of what our job as a parent is to let them be a little bit scared in a scenario where we can help them understand how to deal with that fear. You know, like, honestly, it's something I've actually talked about with my therapist. Like, my parents rented A Nightmare on Elm Street when I was, like, 10. And they didn't make me watch it or ask me to watch it or let me watch it. But I knew they were going to watch it, and I knew it was a horror movie. So I hung out at the top of the stairs, and I listened to them watch it. And I was...
That's almost worse.
It was totally worse. And I was so scared that I didn't sleep for, like a month, probably. I'm probably overstating it, but whatever it was. But it made me intrigued. And as soon as I was old enough to watch horror movies, I did. And I loved them. And I still love horror movies. And... yes, I didn't sleep for a couple weeks, but it wasn't like I literally ended up broken. I think that I think it's the same idea behind not using antibacterial soap all the time. You know, your immune system needs germs to practice on, or else you're going to end up being completely unable to deal with anything. And I feel the same way about.
I watched Aliens. I watched Aliens when I was a kid, and it broke me. It was not a positive thing for me, I think, overall.
How old?
I don't remember exactly, but like 10 or so.
Okay.
So basically just like, nightmares about chest bursters for many years.
Ah. Yeah, I mean, I saw my who took me to see it? I feel like I saw... what was that movie that I saw in the theaters that is like one of those things that wasn't a thing that people should see in the theaters when they're under 8? I mean, some of this is because, some of these is the thing that, like, when the 80s, there was no PG-13 rating, so anything that wasn't, like, hard R was PG, and so it was a little bit of a different situation. I will say this. I think the worst possible scenario... actually, this is a good story. I took my... actually, I want to play a regular game.
Yeah, I'll play a regular game.
We just played the Ennead. We just played that one. Ugh, we're not playing Spite. Fine. Iron Legacy. When I took my daughter, she was, I want to say 7, and I took her to see Brave. And she got so freaked out. There's a scene in the middle of the movie where the mom turns into a bear. I hope that's not considered a spoiler, because it happens pretty early in the movie. But... and she got totally freaked out. Now, some of this is on me because we're seeing it in 3D and we probably shouldn't have. But then we left because she was too freaked out to continue. And in my opinion, that was probably the worst possible way to handle that situation. Because now it took her 3 years to be willing to watch it again. Because I think it was one of those things where it's like she got scared. And basically my message was to her, it's okay. You're right. It's too scary. We have to leave. And then she never had to overcome it. To me, part of what makes a horror movie good is being scared and then getting to the end and realizing that the world hasn't literally ended. Now, how that affects a child's psyche, I'm not a psychologist, so maybe I'm completely wrong about this, but I don't know. That was just my opinion about that scenario. I was like, I really wish we hadn't left, because some of that, someone had mentioned the word catharsis in the chat, and that's exactly what I think, is that if part of what helps you learn how to deal with those sorts of things is being scared, being freaked out, and then getting through it and realizing that you are stronger than this thing that's up on the screen. But anyhow, let's see what we got here. All right, so in case you guys missed it, we're playing Iron Legacy at the Enclave of the Endlings. We've got K.N.Y.F.E, Chrono-Ranger, Skyscraper, and Young Legacy. K.N.Y.F.E is starting with amplified combat, focusing conduit blade, incidental contact, and infiltrate and obfuscate. Chrono-Ranger's got a displaced armory, Jim's hat, Ranger's mark, and terrible tech strike. Skyscraper's got a Cortex Hyperstimulator, Linking Incursion, Microassembler, and Thorathian Monolith. And Young Legacy starts with a Motivational Charge, Superhuman Durability, Surge of Strength, and Thok. All right, Iron Legacy's got an Armored Fortitude, Vigilance, Superhuman Redirection, Final Evolution.
All right, we have some ongoing destruction.
Armored Fortitude.
You don't have ongoing destruction. Chrono-Ranger does. So we can get rid of Vigilance on Chrono-Ranger's turn.
Okay.
But that's all we have right now. So I think Vigilance, to me, Vigilance is like, it has to be. You have to get rid of Vigilance because it will kill you. So it's up to you if you want to play a card, I guess.
Yeah.
He's just going to heal it back.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking at 2 Armored Fortitudes in play and a Final Evolution. Yeah, let's just... Should I even hit him, or should I just skip and get another card?
If you hit him, he'll heal too.
All right, fair enough.
And you can't even get through his damage reduction. He is -2.
Night Silverleaf, always a pleasure.
Bertez asks, is that the Sentinels on the Vigilance card art? I don't know. Good question. I don't know if the Idealist would be as scared, but maybe. She is still a kid.
Yeah.
All right, Vigilance is just the first time you play a card, so I may as well play 2.
Pricey Provinces says, what decides which quote the Sentinels use when they are in the first position? As in, if there are 2 Adamant and 2 are not, which will they use? Do they
uses whatever you choose their setup card to be.
Ah, the setup card. There you go.
Temporal Grenade. And I can't get through his damage reduction, but I can blow up his thing. You might get more ongoing destruction through Linking Incursion.
Yes, I was wondering about that, actually.
It's worth a try.
Yeah.
We don't have anything else now, so... Yay!
Yes, I like that, too. And... yeah.
Yeah, if you give that microassembler to Legacy, she can get the Legacy ring.
We'll do that. All right, what do you think about this Cortex Hyperstimulator?
Yep. Definitely played on Iron Legacy.
Okay.
I guess Chrono-Ranger could use the microassembler to get ongoing cards, or to get ongoing destruction, but we can put one on him later. There's another Linking Incursion.
Yeah, cool. Look at that.
Yeah, so I can put out Motivational Charge and then use this to discard something. Actually, I might keep Superhuman Durability. Against Iron Legacy. Get the Legacy ring in play. And punch for 0, but for a little healing. Yeah, he's going to heal 8 hit points at the start of his turn, so it's not even worth hitting him.
Yeah.
And he heals when he uses
Slamera. The Lazarabian.
Oh no.
Ugh.
At least he didn't just like destroy Slamera. Discard 2 cards or destroy one of your cards.
Yeah, so like K.N.Y.F.E doesn't have a choice. I'm just gonna get rid of both of my incidental contacts, I feel like, unless, well, I guess I'll get rid of one of them and keep the other one. Let's see what the other choices are. Let's see. Wrecking Uppercut. I don't want to get rid of that.
Yeah, I mean, with a single target villain, incidental contact's not going to be...
Yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, but you know, we are in... Wait, is that only villain targets, or is that... No, it's all targets.
It's all targets. That's why it's like it hits our allies too, right? So
yeah, it hits allies. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Was like, okay, well, we're in a target-rich environment, so it might be worth keeping it. But no, it's fine.
It's good with Thorathian Monolith, but yeah. Yeah. If I discard 2 cards, then my hat is not useful, so I'm going to destroy the hat.
Let's see. What of these? So I have 2 in play. No, I have 3 in play.
Yeah, I would definitely destroy Link. You could destroy the one that's on Legacy. She doesn't need it anymore.
Okay, great.
And I think, yeah, I'll discard because I want those cards. And I'll keep my Thok for an extra draw. Hey, look, that was on top of your deck. How surprising. Ooh, takedown.
That'll work.
That's great. No downside.
Yep.
All right, so this will prevent damage. We'll get a -1 on the first one, and then 0 damage on the second one. So who do we want to get the most benefit? Chrono-Ranger, probably. And then the other 2. Yeah, I mean, top of the deck is pretty good.
Yeah.
Because you can get it with Linking Incursion again as well.
Exactly right.
This is more of a strategic thinking our Legacy game.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a lot of ongoing
melee
destruction.
damage by K.N.Y.F.E by 1. K.N.Y.F E deals 1 target 1/2 melee damage. I can destroy an ongoing card if I use that power. Yeah, so what's his current healing situation? The Servo Gauntlet. So if I Wrecking Uppercut, am I going to get through? What's his damage reduction?
You'd have to destroy Slamera. Right? It's when you destroy a target with Prototype Servo Gauntlet.
Oh, right. Okay.
But you could use Amplified Combatant to weaken Slamera enough that you can destroy her. That's actually a good plan.
All right. Yeah, let's do that. I'm not gonna get through any of his damage reduction.
You won't get through the DR, but
all right.
You'll be able to destroy one if you use Servo Gauntlet and hit Slamera.
All right. Do we want to get rid of one of the Armored Fortitudes? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I mean, Final Evolution is also bad. I think we need to get rid of all of them eventually. So
yeah.
Probably the Fortitude. And I still have no, bounties. I guess I can put no executions on him. Sure.
Blue Dolphin. That's actually a good plan, says Migrant P, knowing that's going to give Handelabra games the wrong impression.
Let's go back. I forgot that's only non-character cards and there aren't any. Ranger's Mark is not useful. Terrible Tech Strike. Yeah, I'm just going to double skip here with Chrono-Ranger and hopefully get a bounty that I can use. Yay, by any means. Perfect. And here we can destroy another Armored Fortitude.
Alright, so now I think I'm going to linking Incursion again. We know what the first one's going to be. Bounding
cool, and then a microassembler that can let Chrono-Ranger either Chrono-Ranger find something, or you could use it to find links, or...
I'm fine with letting Chrono-Ranger.
So let me find grenades.
And then I don't have 2 link cards to play. What do I have in my trash?
Yeah, you definitely want to get that neutralizing resonator out of your trash.
Yeah. Great.
Hooray for takedown. Now I can actually punch him and it will work.
Thank you for asking that question, Bjorning. I have asked that several times, and I've always gotten an answer, and then I immediately forget. Slash me. Okay.
I just did it. I pooped. I believe HipChat has that as well. Oh yeah, and I can use Nether Power. For net 1 damage, but hey.
Alright, environment has Vinox.
Vinox. I'm grossing out the chat. Forever. Hey, rebounding debilitator. And yeah, this is just gonna hit everyone.
Alright, so let's see here. Focusing Conduit Blade. Wrecking Uppercut will let me do an extra damage because of my Servo Gauntlet. Or do I want to for the greater good now? Thoughts? I could do any of 3 of my cards. I'm not going to infiltrate and obfuscate, but any of the other 3, I'm kind of torn. I would probably for the greater good if it was just me. I like to live on the edge.
I mean, with Iron Legacy, you get hit pretty hard, so it's up to you. If we end up flipping him, he's going to come after you, so...
Draw 1 card, play 1 card, and use 1 power. And then I get... Yeah, I'm going to do that.
And he heals 2 every time we use a power, remember? So I don't... Using powers is not awesome.
Right.
But if we can go faster than his HP regain, and we have 2 neutralizing resonators actually you'll be able to play, and we'll be able to get rid of his ongoings finally. So yeah,
well,
I
that's
guess
what I'm saying. Oh, well,
keep punching him.
Yeah. So this is like he's going to gain back 2.
There's
That
Vinox.
was 1. And then maybe I'll just skip my second power. Or should I hit my second power? It's going to be net 0, right?
It'll be net 0, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that, like, for the greater good actually did anything for you, but I guess you got an extra card draw.
Yeah, I got an extra card draw, so
that was
of incidental contact, which I'm not going to use. Whatever. Yes, Bella Sorciere. It is the holidays. We are not having a stream. We'll remind everybody of that. We mentioned at the top of the stream, but we'll mention it again. No stream next week. We are giving everybody a well-deserved break after launching Vengeance before the end of the year to hang out with their family and relax. and then get right back to it in January.
All right, I guess I'm just going to skip my powers because it's going to be net 0 damage.
All right, so I think we're gonna neutralizing resonator, and then
play more neutralizing resonators.
Yeah, so get that out, and then does anybody need the microassembler?
I could put it on yourself if you want. Get some compulsion canisters.
That's true. That's not a bad idea.
It's also a destruction fodder.
Yeah, we're not going to do this. Yeah, there's a rebounding defibrillator.
Oh, I lost my ongoing. He must have destroyed it on me.
I have 3 monitors, and that makes streaming extra easy.
I have 1 monitor. Oh! Superhuman redirection is going to send this over. All right, let me go back. I actually don't want Surge of Strength. It's too much damage.
I don't think that's a real thing.
It's too much damage. Hit Skyscraper instead. Corrupton. These environment guys, we might want to get Thorathian Monolith out next turn.
Yeah, I could handle that, probably. This Playboard is the standard that time forgot. Indeed.
All right, maybe K.N.Y.F.E can take less damage. I guess they can't deal damage because of this, but
yeah.
Oh well. That's Iron Legacy for you.
Indeed. All right, so I can't deal damage.
You cannot deal damage. You may as well play Infiltrate and Obfuscate unless you want a double draw.
Yeah. Yeah, with only 7, I'm going to Infiltrate and Obfuscate.
And don't use a power.
Yeah.
You'll heal.
Yeah, so speaking of adapters and dongles, I did just get a new MacBook Pro, which only has 2 different kinds of ports on it. A headphone jack, which is ironic since they removed it from all the phones, and 4 USB-C ports. So I'm definitely entering into dongle world.
Is there a lightning to USB-C cable?
There is. Right now, all I've purchased is a regular USB to USB-C so that I can plug anything normal USB into the laptop. I have 1 of those. I'm considering getting just a flat-out lightning to USB-C so that I can charge a phone on it without having to use a dongle and then use the dongle for anything else that I might want to plug in. But for the moment, all I have is just the 1. Maybe I'll get it as a stocking stuffer.
Thinking if I want to discard for equipment. You would gain 2 health, but it might be nice to have something. So yeah, I'm going to use that. And actually, the dart thrower seems like a good idea. Destroy his things!
Dok'Thorathian Monolith. And then I think I'm gonna... Oh.
There.
Are you still there?
I'm not there.
There you go. Okay.
I'm the one who's not there.
And you're back. All right. So let's see. Should I go searching or should I deal everything too? I think we know what my heart tells me.
Well, I guess if you go searching, you could get a compulsion canister, which would do the same. So yeah, I think I would keep your card and use your power. So the second power. I think that's better. Unless you were thinking of a different link.
I was not.
All right. I can motivational charge and use my base power. Start getting the beat down on Iron Legacy. And actually, yeah, Skyscraper is going to protect K.N.Y.F.E here, so we might have a chance, depending on what he plays, to finish it off.
Yeah, not so tough without your ongoings, are you, Legacy?
I'm just as tough without my ongoings.
Frentat.
It doesn't matter because he's immune.
Oh, okay.
On his other side, he's not immune to environment damage, though, so we might be able to take advantage of Infiltrate and Obfuscate next turn, if he's still around. We shall see. Evil Paul. Former allies not good.
Yeah. Get rid of the Cortex Hypersimulator. Rule from the front.
This is going to hit Skyscraper
a lot.
A bunch. Yeah, I don't know the order matters. It's only going to be 3 damage, so it's not too bad. But here we have to do this thing.
So do I want to... What am I going to do this turn? You know what?
I would probably discard.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. You discard Overdo It.
Yeah, you don't have the HP for Overdo It or the cards.
Yeah. Question is, do I want to get rid of Prime Punch or Focusing Conduit Blade?
I would keep Prime Punch because that's going to do more damage than... because there's a +1 on him.
Yeah.
Chrono-Ranger. Actually, there's a bounty out there I don't care about. So that's exactly why I played it. So I'm going to destroy it. You can take the microassembler off Chrono-Ranger.
Yeah, Barrett's or Birch's Berta's says, man, the former allies is so sad, like, so sad. Like, we actually considered using that in a trailer at one point, and I think we kind of decided to not even ask Greater Than Games if we could, because we realized that the story implications of what that means is, like, you just can't use that. So sad.
I feel like we might be able to take him down this turn if we pile it on.
Okay.
Yeah, I would use Prime Punch. I think that's your most damage.
Yeah, because it's got 2 boosts, right? Yep.
Yeah, he does have a minus, but I think it's still overall going to be 3 damage versus 2 or something. And I can Terrible Tech Strike, I think. There's no bounty I want in there. And I will use the Dart Thrower. Guess you may as well debilitate him.
Yep. I mean, are you assuming we're just trying to wail on everything, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't really effectively use Micro Assembler anyways.
Yeah.
You don't have a card to discard. Surge of Strength. Yeah, this might actually end up being the environment. Oh no, I think Legacy's going to do it. The Surge of Strength. Boom.
Nice. The daughter comes home.
The prodigal daughter.
That
was pretty good.
That was pretty good. Yeah, Iron Legacy is such a, you never really know what's going on with Iron Legacy, but I love it when a plan comes together, as it were.
Yeah, we really had to make use of the ongoing destruction that we had available and optimize that quite a bit. So that was cool.
Yes, indeed. All right. So once more, I will remind everybody that we are off next week. I know it's a bummer. I'm sorry. But we are taking some time. We've been working really hard to get Vengeance out. So it will be our week off next week, but we'll be back rested and ready on January 3rd. After the new year. So, I guess we'll see you in 2017. And I guess that does it for another episode of Sentinels Live. As you all know, Sentinels of the Multiverse is the only cooperative comic book card game that you should be playing. Tell your friends. Remember, folks, we have 1 day left. I'm going to put the link in the chat again one more time. You should be getting all your friends to play Sentinels of the Multiverse. Check out our store. We've got cool printable Steam keys. And that's our gift-giving holiday promotion. Once that closes tomorrow, maybe hang on for Thursday. There might be some other discounts coming. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. Thanks for joining us. We do this every Tuesday except next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you enjoyed the show, please do like us, share, follow, and subscribe. We love spreading the Sentinels love. Sentinels currently is available for iOS, Android, and Steam, and always in good old analog cardboard and ink. I'm Jeremy. You can follow me at Mr. J Handel, and I'm joined, of course, by John. Where can people find you, John?
At Migrant P. I think you should always say Sentinels Live is every Tuesday except next Tuesday.
If I say that, that's a weird, fun paradox thing. It's every Tuesday except next Tuesday. Oh, good times. Anyways, you can always find more info about the game at sentinelsdigital.com. Thanks, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy whatever other end-of-year celebrations you participate in, Saturnalia, or nothing.
Have a merry multiverse.
Have a merry multiverse. I like that. Have a merry multiverse, everybody. We will see you in 2017. Thanks, everyone, and good night.
Good night.